All right, welcome everyone to the release video for the 9th of October, the iteration for the 9th of October. I'll start with what I did. So sharing my screen now. So first I migrated a couple of pages. These were the enterprise and small business pages migrated over to Contentful. Here's one of them now, picking up the information from Contentful. The other one is pretty similar to this one, so I won't show it. Then Nathan and I have been working on this big migration plan, the release plan for the blog, since the final blog release is coming up. So we have been working on clearing these items from this table. So the things that I did were first creating a new category landing page for the blog. So this is how it looks. Now when a category link is clicked from anywhere in the blog, it will show this page, which has the latest post and the rest of the posts in this category. This will update on its own. It just picks based on the date of the post, so no need to maintain this one. Then I went through these UX updates for the blog, which the template now looks better with the correct spacing, font sizes, and this new sticky share, which clicking this will link directly to sharing this specific blog post. Then we had this big issue where some of the existing blog posts had a different URL from what the title had. For example, this one where the title would just be this with hyphens instead of spaces, but the old post would use this, which is different. So created a script that would go through all the files and look which ones were different to the title and update this in Contentful. So now all blog posts have the correct URL in case we had like external links to blog posts. And this will this now works. Then I fixed a couple of smaller bugs, like the tags in the blog post being photo-forward, and a few breaking bugs where the page would just crash if it was missing content. So that is fixed now. And then I also migrated all the new posts that were created after we did the initial blog migration. So now we have 100% of the new posts as of yesterday living in Contentful. And that's it for me. Next one is Miracle.
Well, it's hard to follow that. My iteration surprise was all about Glex and Japanese translations. We are no longer moving forward with the Glex experiment. That's going back to the drawing board so we can decide what it is exactly we want to do with the free trial page. And then outside of that, all I did was Japanese translations. I updated our translations for the navigation, as well as the next steps component. I'm working on the next steps alt right now and then changing our Gartner report banner. I added a new technology partner to our technology partners page. And I created a new Japanese page for one of our customers. I'm still working on two bugs, one of them being the extra space that we have at the bottom of or the white space that we have at the bottom of our footer. And I'm also working on updating our GTag script. And that's it for me. I'll pass it to who's next, Margaret?
Yep, so for the iteration, I worked on updating the KubeCon page. I also worked on the homepage migration. That also includes the next steps alt component. I heard Miracle mention that, so that should be also migrated. Only our English version of that. It will still pull our localized files for the localized content. I also worked on updating some of our word tour pages. I updated some content for the pricing page, and I finished working on the navigation for the licensing fact page migration. And I think that was it for my iteration. I'm gonna pass it over to Timmy.
All right,
So I made it our, sorry, I always get confused with my camera just zoom out. So I finally made our review app back again to our navigation repo. So that's really cool. And also I finally finished my refactor for our hreflang bugs that were happening. With that, with this one, I think we will able to fix the double slash and also the multiple canonical links too. So for example, we were having a problem, we have a page that only exists in French or German, and even though it had just one language, the hreflang was being shown for all the languages. And then with this bug fix, it is not happening anymore. The only thing that is still missing is actually the scenario where we have a lot of pages for the same template. So for example, solutions, we have many pages using the solutions template, and some are localized, other are not. So this is still a problem because I'm trying to find a way so the next localization property will not apply to all of them. I thought about a solution and I'm discussing it with John. Um, but I think it will need to be kind of hard coded first before we finish all the translations, but we are still discussing this topic. And yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm still have some minor bugs, but I'm happy that we finally found a solution for almost everything that was happening with hreflang. And that's it for me. I will pass it to Nathan.
Thanks. Yeah, this one didn't make it in the last release video. I think we finished it 2 hours after we did the video, so I'll just do a quick share screen. So yeah, GA4 is now in. So if you want to see the analytics for a page, just type in filter by content type page to make it quicker. And then, for example, look at the pricing page, and you'll see on the right-hand side now, there's a Google GA4 section. And in there, you can kind of filter on how many page views it has based on, 24 hours, 7 days, 28 days. So it'll be helpful, I think, for the blog and for event pages. So, content editors don't have to bug us also for metrics. They can come and just see everything in one place. And then I also worked on just some of the planning. So the blog planning, some timelines, just trying to get everything to line up with the release post. I think that's going out today. I can't remember what day it is. Or maybe it's Monday. I'm not sure. Same with the CMS stuff, try not to get in the way of their release. So yeah, a couple schedules. And then a bunch of stuff with the blog. So I guess the biggest thing being yarn generate. So trying to generate those 1700, 1800 routes. It was a bit of a pain, but we got through it. There's a lot of bugs with, random Rails code and whatever. I don't even know. There's so many final extensions in that repository, just trying to get it all fixed. And then, yeah, dynamically generating them. So we don't have to worry about, having a massive allow list or disallow list. And then, yeah, a bunch of bugs, some pipeline stuff, some webhook stuff, and then merged phase 1 of the Contentful plan in, which was just backend code. So the models, the services, stuff that's not going to break any pages. And then I looked into that db, whatever the hash is, .json file that's getting loaded. We talked about this on Monday, but essentially for Nuxt content module, it generates this massive JSON blob of all the content you have in on the site, and they put it into one file. So it's like 2 megs for our site. And for some reason, Nuxt content module thinks our production environment is local dev. And so that file is used for caching. And for some reason, it's on production. So for now, you can't delete it because it tries to reference it. And then you get 400 errors in the console. So for now, I just emptied it. There's a script. There's an MR open. I'll tag everyone in it. I don't know. I haven't run analytics yet if it's going to make a huge improvement, but I'm assuming it would. It's not causing any harm. But I think it'll make page loads at least a little bit quicker, or first paints. And then, yeah, ongoing discussions with features, YAML, category stages, just trying to minify those files before we migrate them over to Contentful. But yeah, that's it for me. Javi, I think you're next.
Hi. This iteration worked on a couple things, so I'm gonna share my screen. So many windows, so many tabs. Let me see. I think that's this one. Do you all see Contentful? Yes? Okay, I don't know where you went. Okay. So first thing I did was get all of the Stages DevOps lifecycle pages up in here. And so that's in. The only thing that didn't get done is getting the actual code to have it referenced in the front end. So that's like what needs to get done. Same with like all of these like child topics pages. Like a lot of these are already in here. They just need to be published and referenced in the front end code. And then my headache for this week was trying to get one of these pages out, which was a last minute request. And it was a lot of fun actually at the end of it. And it looks great. And I'm very happy of the team and what we did. Shout out Tina. Tina did amazing trying to wrangle everything all together and telling people no and all of that. So yeah, it's a crazy iteration for me, but it was a good one. Up next, I have Megan.
Hey, I was out for a few days at the beginning of this iteration, but I managed to ship all the support pages. I think there's like 12 of those to Contentful. So those are up. Finished up the Argo Contentful discovery that was carried over from last iteration. Looked into how workflows and webhooks might help with our continuous translation process. So shared that with Daniel and Olex, and we have some great next steps to close that out. I migrated all the technology partner subpages. So it was like AWS, IBM, Google Cloud. So that was merged in today. And I'm starting the technology partners page migration, the one with like all those little cards. I started that today, but I think I could get it done by the end of the day tomorrow. So I'm going to count that as completed in this iteration. But that's all I have. I'll pass it off to Miguel.
Thank you, Megan. For this iteration, I also worked on a couple of migrations, the free trial and pre-trial DevSecOps. Specifically, I used a lot of the code that John put out for the service. So what I did is that I created a new service for the free trial and then use it in both pages. And it was very good to have this logic like elsewhere on the component so that we don't have that in the component. And I also did the same stuff for some solutions templates, which is still not done yet, but I will continue working on that. And yeah, that will be for me. Next is John.
Thank you, Miguel. Well, for this iteration, I worked only in solutions pages. I migrated over 20 or so pages, and I mapped every component that those pages had in our code. So right now, I only need to migrate 2 pages more, and that will be it. There were a lot. There were a lot of pages, but everyone is coded and also migrated. So that was my iteration. Next one is Laura.
Thank you. This iteration, I also did some CMS migrations, mostly for the company pages and sub pages. So like the board of directors, e-group, preference center, contact page. I think 1 or 2 of those is still in review. I also worked on, I'll share my screen. Which one do I want? This one. I worked on this page for migrating from Atlassian to GitLab for the Atlassian end of life. So this was another quick turnaround page, but that's live. I think there will be a few tweaks. We're still getting updated content for that. But that is live in Buyer Experience, but not in the CMS. So I'll move that over to the CMS probably next week. And I think that's it for me. One kind of neat thing came up in Slack. Someone wanted the terms page. They needed to add like a little piece of text to the terms page. And I did that in the CMS and it went live and they were pretty blown away by it that they didn't need the MR. So like, you know, the perfect use case for a CMS is like just a little text change and it went really smooth. I think that's it for me. I'll pass it to Barker.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that up with
did that for the nav on Tuesday, updated a little link in the footer for our localized navs, and it went out, it was fixed. So CMS is in action and it's working. Super cool. Huge iteration team. Really stoked to see all the awesome work getting put forward. Last full iteration, Q3. Next one's short. And then we're gonna finish out October strong. So we'll see everyone next time.